Welcome back, everybody. All right, so today, a lot of things are going to be happening. Firstly, um, if the map looks a little bit weird, remember I told you guys this last episode, but for the people who didn't watch that one, basically go watch it. At the start of it, I explained basically how the entire map, all of the app I use, which is Paint 3D, got completely wiped. So I had to basically redraw this by hand. So it might look a little bit weird, but as we discovered last episode, I did a pretty good job. you know, if I'm glazing myself, I did a pretty good job. But yeah, let's move on. I'm not gonna spend as much time on talking about that today. Let's start with Somaliland, where basically the civil war is going to happen again. So remember, the brown guys are the Bengali Republic troops, are the Bengali troops who basically split off from the rest of the Bengali troops, which are the ones in the orange. Um, to conquer Somalia under their own leadership, and then Somaliland slash Somalia is in this color right here, and they're currently getting invaded by both of these guys with absolutely no help from anybody. Pretty limited help from the blue team. Blue team could not care less, if I'm being honest. I think they've kind of they cared at the start, and then they realized that like realistically, we might just it might just not matter to us anymore. So yeah, the brown the brown team, which is the rebel Bengali rebels, they're going to basically restart the entire like war that was happening over here, and basically they're going to be trying to capture the capital because they're going to say like this war has gone long enough, we need to establish control over this land so other countries can finally start recognizing us as a real country. They're also really important because just like Somalia in real life, they're kind of in the same location as Somalia, and just like in real life, this place's stability really impacts trade over here because like pirates and stuff. And these guys they're definitely using this to their advantage. Like you can really like get a lot of power by developing ports over here. Since the blue team they don't really need foreign investment, so you can't really get power by developing over here. These guys need foreign investment, so you can get power by developing over there. Anyways, they're gonna quickly storm the capital, which is actually gonna be done in the span of like a week. It's not gonna take them that long, just because Somaliland has kind of run out of resources, I guess. And from here, it's basically the main government of Somaliland. It's going to officially declare that they have completely collapsed and that the fate of the state is now in the hands of the people. Following this announcement, the Bengalis are going to instruct their troops to completely invade, and their troops are going to invade and capture all of this, as well as this part is actually going to just surrender over. Actually, you know what? No. This part is going to surrender to the rebels. They're also going to spread through, capture that, and the rest of this stuff. Whoa, whoa! I think I just colored the entire ocean. Yup. Okay, that's not good. Okay. Anyways, brother, can Paint 3D not crash? Thank you. I hate this app so much, bro. Like, how is this generally the best app I can use right now? Anyway, yeah. So that's gonna happen. This is not that complicated of a border as I thought it was gonna be. Gonna be honest. Anyways, yeah. So they, bro. So they got that stuff done. They can have that. Uh, yeah, they get this. They're gonna keep their capital up here. These guys get this. They're gonna keep their capital as is as well. I feel like I should color these guys orange at this point, but like not really, because like they don't really get dragged into conflicts with the rest of the empire. It is what it is. Also, Bengal actually tries purchasing the tip of Madagascar from the blue team. However, the blue team refuses to sell to them because, quote, they're unreliable. And basically, what the blue team means by this is basically these guys were like trying to like pay in part. You know how you go to buy a car and then like you pay 500 one month and then 500 another month until you pay off the entire car. They were trying to do that, and the blue team was like, "Yeah, no, you guys are gonna stop paying halfway through." So yeah. Anyways, with that we can move on to Central Siberia. Oh my god. The storyline here does go insane, I'm not gonna lie. First things first, these guys are actually gonna expand a lot. They're gonna take over another tribe that was here, basically. They're gonna sign a treaty with the leader, subdue a bunch of rebels, and then they're going to take control of all of that. I guess they actually get. Bro, I can't speak today. They make a treaty with the blue team to basically divide up the rest of Siberia like this. So all of this is for these guys, the Siberian Republic, something like that. And then everything outside of this line belongs to the blue team. The blue team also makes another treaty actually with these guys, and that's gonna basically be everything above this line. This one goes forever. Everything above that is for them. Everything below is for the blue team. So yeah, absolutely no one is going to like respect this treaty, but like sure. Um, the blue team and the red team though, a lot of stuff is gonna start happening. Like for example, ships they're exiting. The red team kind of like captures a few blue team ships. They say that those guys are like smuggling things. A lot of stuff happens. Both teams get really sick of each other, and then eventually it leads to war with with a ship being fired upon. That's basically a blue team general, a really important blue team general is sent by the blue team across the entire world to kind of visit and see how things are going in a lot of their smaller overseas territories. So, for example, he goes over here to Burma, see how things are going. He also goes to southern Philippines, training a few soldiers here and there. He also goes to um, this right here. He goes to this in Finland, and then he goes here. But as he's entering here, going through here, the rest of the blue team really isn't aware of the dangerous situation right now. And as his ship is going through right around this point, it's fired upon by a barrage. Like a lot of dozens of red team ships kind of surround it, break a lot of it, and this guy's basically forced to make a crash landing onto the blue team land, and he's received in one piece. Like he's not that harmed, maybe like a few bruises, like he's gonna hurt in the morning type stuff. But he's mad. He's like, "How are y'all letting this slide?" So he basically tells these guys that he's gonna make an executive decision, and they're going to war with the red team. With that, basically he goes to war. He declares complete war, and in the dead silence of night, he lands ships over here, and basically plans to take complete control of this entire bay, and basically force the red team to leave Siberia to only the blue team. Now, it's important to know that this guy was actually one of the leading generals in the war against Persia, and his squad actually managed to secure this northmost tip. And he got a lot of stuff from that, but like because of the entire population of the blue team and the red team, like if this was in any other situation, people would have praised him a lot upon his return. But like because of the situation, if you remember, a lot of people were really against the red team and blue team doing this, so no one really liked him. When he came back, a lot of people were really mad at him for even helping with that. But yeah, so he's basically also been on like a thing of wanting to gain a lot of honor from war. So yeah, he does that. So he actually personally leads this attack and then sends like the actual general in charge of this place on the attack over here. And the two together quickly capture a lot of territory. But they kind of realize that this entire bay area is only the urban population, and the military population actually lives right here. Which is why they've been making such a big deal out of blue team ships over here, because they really don't want this military base to get threatened, but also because they just want to showcase their power off. Kind of helps with the training of the new recruits. Anyways, he basically leads the charge on this place as well, and he successfully actually captures the northmost point. Right here, he just captures all of this, which really is going to help because he's gonna be able to like, yeah. Anyways, if you can't tell, I'm basically setting up for an all-out blue team red team war. So yeah. Anyways, news of all these war stuff happening gets back to both of the centers of the central command to all of Siberia for both teams, which is for the blue team it's right here and for the red team right here. So both teams now have news of the war, and the blue team they're like, let's not cause panic in the rest of the empire. Let's maybe hold on to this news and see what we can do about it ourselves. However, a lot of their insiders actually leak to the red team. So here's what the red team does. The red team ones are like mad. They're like, so we just got attacked and lost a bunch of our territory. Yeah, we're not letting that slide. They instantly forward that news to go to the command for all of Europe, which is, I think, the command for all of Europe is probably over here, to be honest. I think they send it for all of like Northern Europe, I guess. They send it right here, so it lands over here, and from there it goes. And no, they don't even send it to the command of Europe. Actually, no, they do. Hold up. So they send it to the command of Europe, which is right here. Actually, maybe not. Okay, it's in a city somewhere over here. They send it to like the place where the major generals are staying, which is somewhere in Spain. And over there, those guys also are really mad, and they forward it to the actual red team command. So now it's on a ship going to Qatar, and right when it lands into this capital city, things are gonna go really bad. Like the red team and the blue team are gonna be at war, and that's gonna include all of the empire. So yeah, but a lot of insiders actually leak that to the blue team because a lot of people don't want this war to happen. And now this blue team command kind of realizes we might be really cooked because they have about a month before that boat reaches Qatar, and the red team realizes that they're currently facing a war from the blue team. The blue team general, the blue team command also contacts the general over here and basically tells him to stop, and he says no. So that's that. He just says no. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not even gonna make a story here. He just says no. That's it. He just says no. There's nothing like no lore. He just says no. He's like, because technically he has more power than these guys. Because technically he came from the actual blue team area. So technically he has more authority. He can just say no and they have to listen to it. But they basically tell him like you're in our territory, so like follow our rules. And he's like no. Again, he just says no. So these guys kind of realize they need to hatch a plan real fast as all of this is happening as well. More landings are made, and it does not look like the blue team is going to slow down. The red team people living here also start getting really sick because when the red team started sending people to populate this area, they were like, it's a better life. Firstly, they came here and had to face the snow and everything, like the cold weather. Now they have to face all of this. So, yeah. Um, Eventually, it's looking like that these two might actually have to enter into the war and it might actually become a whole Siberian war. Blue team basically prepares for this and sends troops to secretly camp in the tribes around this area, who are really mad at the red team because you see how this little dip happens in the red team area. That's basically because up until here it was okay, and from here they started invading all of the different tribes because they got enough land to be able to do that. They're also trying to get to the Finland area right here. They can't really because like it's really difficult. There's a lot of tribes that live there that really don't like the red team, so like the troops are hidden pretty well, and yeah, it's not looking good. Meanwhile, that general he continues the war until eventually, finally, in his latest attack on the biggest city of that's left under red team control, which is right here, he does capture it successfully, but he himself takes life-threatening injuries and is forced to return to the blue team, where he can't really get treatment. So they're basically like, okay, we need to tell the actual blue team, the main like headquarters, to take you back. But he's like, if you tell them that, they're gonna be like, how did I get this injury? And then they're gonna realize I started a war with the red team without any reason, and then I'm gonna be cooked. So like, they realize that he realizes that he's he basically has to take like a step back and lead the war from like back over here. Meanwhile, over here, these guys basically make an executive decision and they invade the red team. Not really. Now they invade, but they invade diplomatically. You know what I'm saying? Like they send a lot of diplomats with a lot of soldiers, and they demand to speak to the headquarters and basically explain the situation that's happening. And they explain how maybe we should contain it to just this part. And yeah, they're absolutely fired upon, which leads to just a little bit of a skirmish happening right here. Easily kicked out. These guys are scared as hell now because they have about 5 days left until the boat gets to Qatar, and they've just found out that the boat has actually just passed through the Blue Team Canal, and it's on its way near the UAE. So with that, I think you should realize that this is not really going good, and eventually, after the capture of that city, this entire red team thing is kind of falling apart. Also, communications are now shut down. They have to go like this and then bribe these guys a lot of money to be able to take a boat out. So the red team kind of knows now that they've completely lost this territory, like completely. It's just gone now, and that means they're willing to lose a lot more in this war. Also, all of this finally does eventually just get capitulated completely, and with that, we kind of have a peace treaty. So as the boat is going there, the blue team decides to annex it. The central command says they're annexing it. These guys, because they've made the matter into a national thing, like led by these guys, they're basically locked into this war now. They can't really agree to this. treaty or anything. So we can just mark this as the treaty that's happened. But no, the red team does not agree with this yet. They don't even know that this has happened yet. And naval fights continue between these two, escalating slowly and slowly until basically a whole all-out Siberian war is on the way. Stay tuned. Probably next episode that's gonna happen. But yeah, I think we can move on now. That boat will reach by next episode. Oh yes. Lastly, the Polish and the red team and Crimea. Basically, Poland has been getting really strong, and Crimea's feeling really threatened. The red team's feeling really threatened. Both want something out of Poland, and both realize that Crimea can get this. That an invasion would cure both of their problems in Europe. Crimea, it would just give them the economic domination back because no one else other. Ever since France's destruction, there's really only two countries left that have. They're kind of on par with Crimea. Not even really. Crimea is number 3, I think. The closest to them right now in Europe is probably the Ottomans, and they're like number 6, and then the Polish, who are literally like number 10. So they can maybe 7. So 6 and 7. Oh, 6, 7. Anyways, so yeah, they basically decide let's go alongside the red team. Let's just invade Poland and get rid of this country fast. And yeah, quickly Crimea. They launch the invasion. They tell red team to do the same. Red team also knowing that they can probably get land out of this and finally have land inside of the Balkan Sea. They do it too. And already the red team actually goes really tough with this. Like they invade the capital. Also, this uncalled for invasion is really gonna speed up the timeline for the boat getting to Qatar because now the red team knows that this is happening. Now they're getting like now they want daily information updates. So yeah, by next episode, there is definitely about to be an all-out red team blue team war in Siberia. Maybe it'll expand to the rest of the empires as well. But yeah, over here the capital is literally just like captured. Now the Polish are fighting really like tough. Like they're absolutely cooking the red team. Like the red team should not be doing this badly. Poland should have capitulated by now. Crimea, they capture all of this swampland type stuff right here. Doing kind of good. Oh, that was way too much. That was way too much. Tolerance 4%. I colored the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. Anyway, the red team they actually launch a really big campaign. 200,000 troops leave from here to invade through here. Again, this is uncolonized. I don't know when the blue team and the red team will realize this, but you can't just send a lot of troops through uncolonized land. They're gonna die. And yeah, by the time they get here, there's about 75,000 left, which the Polish military is currently 50,000, so that's still more than the entire military, who's also stretched out across all of this. There's like no troops here. There's like maybe 4,000, 5,000. Anyways, those 75,000 are going to launch the invasion. The main campaign. Also, I can't tell if you can hear it or not, but I'm sick right now, so yeah, please subscribe. Send support. Support, bro. Support. Um yeah, they continue to expand. They do really well, actually. But at this point, this war has become unprofitable. Like, it's not really going well for the red team. They actually start getting pushed back pretty badly from the capital, and the capital is recovered fully eventually. And actually, they're able to break out from here. And yeah, they also push back the Crimeans. And now Crimea is basically saying like, okay, let's rethink how we do this because we might be cooked. Red team, they basically say, let's just continue with the land invasion, and they're going to actually take control of all of this. So they're going to take all of that, and then, um, yeah. So right now it's not looking really good. Crimean forces are going to launch another attack as well. They're going to capture all of this right here. Yup. So both are doing pretty well. Crimea a little bit less, just because Red team doesn't want to allow them too much military outside of the Mediterranean, because like Red team keeps the Crimean military outside of the Mediterranean Sea really limited. Like they don't let Crimea send that much military outside. They like really limit how much military goes through here and here. But for this, I guess they kind of have to let a lot of it go through. So they're like really monitoring closely how much they're letting go through, which is why Crimea is performing really badly because they have to use a lot of their reserve personnel from over here, from Norway and Denmark. But yeah. Anyways, the Crimeans try to get these guys to join the war. They kind of say no because like they're scarred, but they do help they do support Crimea by giving military access. Now, at this point, I think Crimea has kind of realized that this is not going anywhere as they pull out from there and they transfer this front to the red team, only fighting over here, which they soon leave as well, only supporting the red team through volunteer troops. Even the red team kind of starts to take a lot of damage. Like they don't pull out, they actually get pushed out, which is really, really unfortunate for the red team because like that's crazy that you're getting pushed out by a country who hasn't had contact with the rest of the world in a while. Like Poland does not trade that much. I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, the red team should be performing way better. They're not. It is what it is. This is basically the red team's Vietnam right now. This is like really bad for them. Eventually, after losing all of this, they kind of begin getting pushed even further just because now there's a lot of morale boost and a lot of Polish common people are taking to the streets and killing red team troops themselves. Um, yeah, with this, I think the red team troops over here in the south are kind of forced out completely, and the Polish at this point sign a peace treaty with the red team and the Crimeans, and it's really bad for both of them. They basically have to pay for all the damage they've just caused, as well as help develop the coastline of Poland, as well as the red team needs to keep military personnel. Their naval, they can only send personnel into the Balkan Sea for peacekeeping. Other than that, they can no longer send military into the Balkan Sea. This also kind of elevates the Polish military force a lot, cause like skill, you know. Yeah. Lastly, a war between two allies of the red team, Poland and the Mamluks. They both go to war. Not Poland, Ottomans. After basically Ottoman domination is challenged in the Mediterranean because the Mamluks basically call out the Ottomans and say that the Ottomans is trying to become a second red team inside of the Mediterranean, especially with how they're just invading things now and just like taking control of them. No second thought, which really makes them mad because they're like, they don't want to show themselves as a competitor to the red team. That's gonna really cook them. And so they basically tell the Mamluks to basically like calm down, and that the Mamluks are kind of mad because they don't have military themselves that's good enough for this, and that makes the Mamluk president mad. And basically, the two presidents just kind of throw insults at each other. This eventually leads to hostility between the people of the nation and fishermen inside of the sea from both countries actually start fighting each other, leading to Red Team basically telling both of them off and shutting down the fishing ports over here and the fishing areas over here for both of them for a while. Both presidents blame each other for this, and eventually the Ottomans say they've had enough and they declare all out war on each other. Um, the Ottomans actually say that this is for national security because they claim that the Mamluks had a plan to invade the Ottomans. The Mamluks deny this claim. Uh, if that's actually if the claim is actually true or not, you can decide yourself because like technically it's true. Technically speaking, like they probably did have some ambitions even for like a little bit. However, I don't think those were realistic ambitions. So I think the Ottomans are capping hard, but like, you can decide. And honestly, the Ottomans kind of just destroy a lot of this. And soon they start sending military through the Suez, and the blue team, the red team, doesn't really stop them because the red team is like maybe a strong Ottoman Empire is good. Like maybe that is something we should have. Like a strong Ottoman Empire who can defend themselves, who doesn't need the red team to really support them too much, who can even like maybe just handle red team stuff inside of the Mediterranean for the red team, and so they don't really stop them. Eventually, the Ottomans are able to do all of this, which forces the Mamluks' hand into surrender, as they don't want to lose even more territory after they basically realize that the red team is going to do absolutely nothing. So yeah, red team and Mamluk relations actually go really bad shortly after this, just because the Mamluks feel really betrayed by this. Actually, so much so that they open trade with the blue team for the first time in a while, which only destroys relations even more. And they also say that they are now rethinking their entire like alliance with the red team. So yeah, I actually think they're being really dramatic. I'm not gonna lie. Like rethinking the entire alliance is crazy. Like that. Are you sure you want to do that? Because like the blue team is definitely not gonna accept the Mamluks fully, just because the Mamluks don't really have anything to offer the red blue team. Because like the blue team can make by without the Mamluks really well already. Also, the Ottomans make a point of annexing even the small villages next to the red team border, basically trying to alienate the Mamluks from the rest of the red team. From the red team. So yeah, that's that. And then we can just annex all of this. Yeah, with that, actually, there is one more demand that the Ottomans make, and that is going to be this little strip of land right here. And this is actually really significant because this is the last border between the red team and the Mamluks. So that's kind of significant. Kind of, not really. This is also going to be the last war of this video, so yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. So, yeah, okay. Let's just give a political analysis of this real quick, and then we can end the video. So, yeah, the Ottomans have just captured all of this land. The Mamluks are really mad. They actually, let's just take this 50% opacity. Actually, hold up, we need this full right now. We can actually erase this because all of this is so bad for the red team. The Mamluks are so mad right now. They're so incredibly mad that they actually just end up completely rethinking the alliance with the red team, and they basically kind of half pull out. They say they will rejoin maybe, but as of now, they will be rethinking if they want to be in the alliance at all. And so that, as you can see, is now opaque, which means they are currently in the process of joining. They're in that same like kind of thing, except they have a free invitation. They can rejoin, but like it's gonna be really awkward now, and they're also rethinking if they want to join or not. Leaving this also actually makes it so they don't have to sanction the blue team anymore, which basically leads to them lifting all the sanctions from the blue team off temporarily. Blue team and their trade becomes really widespread, and the blue team also starts developing a lot of their coastline for them. So yeah, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. The red team got hit pretty hard this today, this episode. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.